Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Under the Avo Tree. I am Aoife, and today we're going to go through a strong and confident warrior sequence. So, I'm going to invite you to set an intention of confidence today throughout the practice as you're going through the poses, just to feel into what confidence feels like. So, even if you can imagine something that you're really confident in as we get started, and feel that feeling and try hold on to that feeling as you go through the practice, especially when we have poses that maybe you find a little difficult, or you're wobbling or shaking or falling over. Just to notice how your brain reacts to that, and then try to come back to that feeling of confidence that you know from other things that you do. And that will just really help you build the confidence into this practice, into the poses, and also knowing that when you wobble and shake and fall down, you're actually getting stronger each and every time. Your muscles are learning where they need to move, where they need to grow and strengthen. So the more you come back to this the practice, the more confident you get, because the stronger you'll get and the more your body knows what it's going to be doing. So with all of that, I'm going to meet you on the mat and we'll get started. So we are going to get started in child's pose. So if you are doing this early in the morning, you might like to take a wide-legged child's pose. Otherwise, you can take a narrow leg. So whichever you really feel more comfortable with. So either way, you're going to have or one way or the other, you're going to have either your knees together or taking your knees out, big toes touching, and just walking the hands out in front. So walking them out as far as you can, bum reaching back to the heels, and then letting the head rest down onto the mat. So we're going to hold here for a few breaths, a few moments, just letting the body settle down, letting yourself come into this space. And start taking your breath a little bit deeper down into the belly, so filling it up, feeling the sides, the ribcage expand. And then exhaling to empty it all out and softening, letting the chest come a little bit lower towards the mat. Inhaling deep into the belly, exhaling, emptying out. Inhaling, exhaling. And keep going like this for a few more rounds. Now on the next exhale, you can just release the breath, staying in your child's pose and thinking again of that thing that you feel confident, like maybe an activity, something in your work, something in your day-to-day life that you feel really confident doing. And just trying to tap into the feeling you get of confidence from that. Maybe it feels expansive, or maybe it feels full in your chest, maybe you feel its brightness in your body. Just trying to tap into whatever that is. Really feeling into it and embodying it. And setting an intention to come back to this feeling throughout the whole practice. And if you notice throughout the practice that you're beating yourself up, giving out to yourself, oh, I'm wobbling, like I'm not good at this, just notice that and then try to return to this feeling. And holding onto that, we're going to lift up the chest and the torso into a tabletop position. So if your knees are wide, just bring them in so they're underneath the hips now. Hands are underneath the shoulders, and we're going to go through a few rounds of cat-cow. So inhaling deep into the belly, dropping it down, chest and gaze comes forward. And exhaling, starting at your tailbone, rounding through the spine, pushing the hands into the mat, rounding the shoulders. Inhale, dropping the belly down, chest comes up, gaze comes up, and exhaling, rounding the spine. Inhaling, dropping the belly, chest comes forward, gaze looking up. Exhale, rounding the spine. We'll do one more here. Inhaling, dropping the belly. Exhaling, rounding the spine. Coming back to a neutral position with your back, you're going to tuck the toes under, hover the knees up, pressing the hands forward and down into the mat, and then shifting the hips back and up, coming into downward facing dog. So you can keep the knees nice and bent here and start pedaling out the legs, so bending one knee, straightening the other. Really pushing the hands down and forward to shift your shoulders back. And you can come into stillness here for one inhale, one exhale. Then bend the knees and walk the feet forward to between the hands at the top of the mat, folding over the legs. We're going to tuck the chin in here and starting from the tailbone, slowly rolling up through the spine. Your shoulders coming up, rolling down the back. Your head and neck last come up. So now you're at the top of the mat in Shavasana pose. So your feet are hip distance apart, hips stacked over feet, shoulders stacked over hips, hands down by the side, looking forward. Going to inhale, taking the arms overhead. Take the right hand around the left wrist. Inhale to reach the left fingertips up and exhale, reach over to the side. Just getting a lovely stretch along the side body. Inhaling to fill the rib cage. Exhaling. Inhaling once more. Exhaling back to center, reaching fingertips up, swapping the hands over. So left hand onto right wrist this time. Inhaling up and exhaling over to the left. So really pressing both feet into the mat now. You're not shifting the weight into the left leg, just evenly distributed. One more inhale. Exhale back to center, reaching the fingers up, looking up between the hands, then hinging at the hips and leading with the chest to fold all the way down. So inhaling, lifting halfway up, lengthening the spine, keeping it nice and long, and exhaling, folding down. Going to bend the knees, take the hands onto the mat, and then step back to your downward facing dog again. And you can bend the knees, lift the bum up, and then straighten out the legs. We're going to lift the left toes up to the ceiling, keeping the hips square. Inhaling here. Exhale the knee towards your nose, rounding the spine, and then stepping the foot between the hands, coming up to a high lunge. So we're reaching the fingertips up, hips are square to the top of the mat. Taking an inhale here. And we'll exhale, opening to warrior two. So you're going to plant the back foot angled a little bit in from the back edge of the mat. Checking that your heels are either in line or the front heels in line with the instep of the back foot. Arms reaching out in front and out to the back. Gazing over the front fingertips. So Virabhadrasana 1. Virabhadrasana 2. We're going to flip the front hand, reaching forward, lifting the fingertips up. The back hand comes onto the back leg, coming into reverse warrior. You can take your gaze up to the top hand. Taking a nice big inhale. And exhale, we're going to move over to extended side angle. So you're going to take the left forearm onto the left thigh, reach the right hand up. So you can either leave the right hand here or you can take it alongside the right ear, reaching the fingers towards the top of the mat. Pressing into both feet equally. One more inhale. But exhale, coming back to a reverse warrior. So reaching the left hand back up. Still down to that front knee. Inhaling here. Then exhale, we'll cartwheel the hands forward, framing the front foot, turning the back foot onto the ball of the foot, stepping back to a plank. You can either stay here and go down through chaturanga, or you can drop your knees and do half chaturanga, lowering down. Inhaling, lifting the chest up into cobra, or if you want, into upward facing dog. And then exhaling, shifting back into downward facing dog. Take a couple breaths here. If you want to take any movement, or if you prefer to stay in stillness, just whatever your body's calling. And if you want to take child's pose, you can always come down to child's pose. If you need a little moment to catch your breath. So we're going to do that on the opposite side now. So we're going to lift the right foot up to the mat, up to the ceiling. Bringing the knee to the nose and stepping the foot through, coming into our high lunge, reaching the fingertips up to the ceiling. If you wobble here like I am, just trying to notice whatever the thoughts might be. Try to turn back to that feeling of confidence, that power and strength that you have. I'm going to open the hands up to Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. Hands at the height of the shoulders here. The front knee is over the front ankle, so you're not pushing it too far forward, you're not having it too far back. Flipping the front hand, reaching it forward and then up, releasing the left hand onto your back leg. And coming into our extended side angle, right forearm onto right thigh, left fingers up to the ceiling, or bringing the arm alongside the ear. Breathing here. Taking the hand back up to reverse warrior, so right hand up to the ceiling again. Making sure you're still bent in that front knee. And then cartwheeling the hands down, framing the front foot, stepping back to your plank. You can drop the knees or go down through chaturanga. Lifting the chest into cobra or upward facing dog. And then exhaling back to downward facing dog. Taking a few breaths here, coming into child's pose. I'm going to look forward to the hands. You can bend the knees and you can step, hop, or walk forward, folding over the legs. And you're standing forward, fold. Inhaling, lifting halfway, so lengthening the spine, hands come onto the shins. Exhale, folding down. Inhale, taking the arms wide, bringing them up overhead, palms touching, gaze into the ceiling, and exhale the hands down, back to the heart. So release the hands down, just take a moment here, you can check in with the body and yourself, closing the eyes down, maybe taking one hand onto the belly, hand onto the heart. And just checking in with how you're feeling. If you've been embodying that sense of confidence, or what else maybe you've been noticing coming up throughout the postures. We'll blink, open the eyes. We're going to go through that again. We're going to speed it up a little bit. So we're going to do more of a flow with each movement you take. For each breath that you take a movement. So we'll start again. Shavasana, top of the mat. Taking this neutralizing inhale. Empty out the exhale. Inhale, arms come up overhead. Exhale, hinge at the hips, folding down. Inhale, lifting halfway, hands on shins, reaching back through the hips and forward through the chest. Exhale, folding down. Inhale, planting the hands, stepping back to downward facing dog. Exhale here. Inhale, lift the left toes. Exhale, bring the left foot forward between the hands, reaching the fingertips up. Inhaling. Exhaling, opening to warrior 2, so planting that back foot, reaching the arms in front. Moving into your reverse warrior. Forward into your extended side angle. Back again to your reverse warrior. And then cartwheeling the hands down, stepping back to your plank. Inhaling and exhaling, lowering down. Inhale, lifting into cobra, upward dog. And exhaling back to downward facing dog. So we'll take a few breaths here. Slowing down the breath. If you're in child's pose, returning to downward facing dog. We're going to do it again on the other side. So one movement per breath. Inhaling, lifting right leg. Exhaling, stepping it forward. Inhaling, lifting the fingers up. Exhaling, opening to warrior 2. Inhaling, reversing your warrior. Exhaling, extended side angle. Inhale, reverse your warrior again. Exhaling, cartwheeling the hands down and going through your vinyasa, lowering down, inhaling to lift into cobra and exhaling downward facing dog. And now just taking a few breaths here, coming into child's pose. Drawing the breaths long and steady, letting them even out. And then meeting back in downward facing dog. We're going to look forward to the hands, bend the knees, and either walk, step, or hop forward. Coming into your forward fold. I'm losing a hair clip here. Inhaling, lifting halfway up. Exhale, folding down. Inhale, taking the arms wide, bringing yourself to standing, gazing up to the touching palms. And exhaling the hands back to the heart. Releasing the hands down. Take a sip of water if you need, and if not, you can just again close down the eyes, placing a hand on the heart, hand on the belly, just checking in with the body and the feeling that's been generated throughout the last two poses. Blinking open the eyes here. So we're going to add on a little bit to that. We're going to do Warrior 3. And then the rest of it's going to be the same. So this might be where you need your confidence. We're going to start. I'll face you to start. You're starting at the top of your mat, lifting the left foot. So your left knee is as high as your hip. Toes are pointing forward. And take your hands to your heart here. And I'll show you from the side. So you're standing nice and tall, pressing down to that right foot. And you're going to start hinging from the hips, leading with the chest forward, and then pushing the left heel back as if you're pushing your left foot onto a wall. And you can keep a gentle bend in the front knee, but you're straightening it out. You can look down or a little bit forward onto the ground. And now we're going to start to bend the front knee, slowly lowering down until your left foot meets the ground, coming into your high lunge. From here, we're opening up into our Warrior 2. This is all the same as before now. Reaching back into your reverse warrior. Coming forward into your extended side angle. Reaching back into your reverse warrior. Cartwheeling the hands and then coming through your vinyasa. So the knees dropped, you're coming the full way down. Lifting up and then back to downward facing dog. I'm always happy to fix my mat. I don't know what it is, but the carpet and the mat is just moves. Walking mat everywhere. So from here, we're going to lift the right toes up, step it forward, coming into our high lunge again, and then taking the hands to your heart. Leaning forward, so you're hinging from the hips to lean forward. The chest is pointing forward, you're looking forward. You're going to start bringing the weight into that front leg, so you can hover the left foot and then bring it up, back to your Warrior 3. So if you want to take the hands out in front, you can also do that. And then we're going to bend the left leg, so the heel's coming towards your bum, and hinge up to standing. Left leg coming out in front, and then releasing it down, releasing the hands. Taking a moment, catching your breath, and then we'll do it on the other side. So this time we're lifting the right leg up. Toes are flexed, or foot is flexed. Standing nice and tall. Hands at prayer. Lifting up. So just imagine someone has a string pulling from the top of your head, lifting up through the spine. And then starting to hinge forward. Leading with the chest, and the right leg can be bent to start and then reaching back through the heel, again standing the right foot as if it's standing against the wall. And we're going to start to bend the left knee, I'm wobbling, until the right foot comes in onto the mat, then reaching up into your high lunge. Take a nice inhale here, exhale, opening to Warrior 2. Inhale to reverse. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, ooh, cartwheel. Getting too into it there. Cartwheel down to a plank and then lower down. Inhale, lifting into cobra or upward dog. Exhaling back to downward facing dog. Again, taking child's pose if you need. Then inhaling to lift the left foot. Stepping it forward as we exhale, coming into our high lunge again. And taking the hands to prayer, hinging forward. So you're about like 45 degrees, like a straight line through the leg, through the spine. And then leaning forward, maybe hopping the back toes forward a little bit so you can take the weight into that left leg. And then lifting the back leg up. Returning to your warrior three, again extending the arms forward if you want. But you can always leave them at the heart. And then hinging at the hips to come to standing. Right knee comes out in front again. And then exhale, releasing. Giving yourself a little pat on the back if you did it with no wobbles. And also giving yourself a pat on the back if you wobbled and got back up and kept going. So we're going to come now into a chair pose. Feet, you can do hip distance or toes touching. Whichever you want really. I'm going to go with hip distance. Taking my hands to the heart. Bending the knees, lowering the hips down. So your tailbone's tucking in, chest is forward, and trying to just get as low as you can with those hips. Tucking the tailbone. Every so often I find I'll just do it once at the beginning of my holding the pose. I'll have to check in, oh, am I tucking in, lifting chest. So like be something you have to say over and over as you hold the pose for a few breaths. And exhale, fold over. Inhale, lifting halfway, lengthening the spine. Exhale, folding down. Inhale, lifting halfway, then bending the knees and lifting the chest, coming again into your chair pose. Tucking the tailbone, lifting the chest. Inhaling deeply. And then exhaling, releasing. Now take the feet a little bit wider, the hip distance. Inhale, lifting to lengthen. Exhale, folding down. Inhale, lifting to lengthen, and we're going to bend the knees, lower the sit bones, coming this time into a squat. So if you find it hard to get down this low, you can stay up here, staying in like an even lower chair pose, or you can come onto the balls of your feet, and that can often help open the hips a little bit more that you can lower down. Inhale here. Pressing elbows into the inner knees. Exhaling. One more inhale. And then we're going to shift the weight back so we land on our bum. Toes come up into Navasana boat pose. So you can have the legs straightened, or you can have them bent, or even you can have the toes just touching off of the mat. Again, chest is open and broad. Pulling the shoulders back. One more inhale. And then exhale, releasing down. So we're going to just do a few little forward folds before we come into Shavasana. We're almost done, don't worry. So you're sitting up tall in Dandasana. Hands either side of the hips, toes pointed to the ceiling. Nice straight spine here. Inhaling, lifting the fingertips. And exhale, reaching the fingertips forward and down. Chest follows. Release the head down towards the legs. So your hands might reach onto the shins, maybe they come onto the toes, just wherever they reach, just letting them rest here. We're not trying to pull ourselves forward with the hands, because then we end up pulling through the shoulders. It's not a good time. Each inhale, just imagine the back of the body filling up, creating loads of space. And exhale, letting the body move a little closer to the legs. One more inhale. Exhale, come up to seated. We're going to take the legs wide here. And it's okay if you can't get them super wide, like I can't really either. Some people's legs are like out straight either side. So this is wide as you can get them. We're going to take the right arm inside the right leg. Inhale to lift the left fingertips up, and then exhale, reaching over to the side. So we're getting a lovely stretch in the inner thighs here. Also a gorgeous stretch all along the side body, the rib cage, which we were working when we did those moving between the reverse warrior and the extended side angle pose. So just really creating more space here, stretching it out. One more inhale. Exhale, come back to center, letting the left hand come inside of the right leg. And if you can't get it down to the mat, you can also just have it on top of the thigh. Inhaling, reaching the right fingertips up and then over to the side. Trying to keep the shoulders away from the ears here as well. It can be a bit of a habit to reach the fingers so much that the shoulders are coming up to the ears. You're starting to round the spine forward. Want the chest nice and open. One more inhale. Exhale, coming back to center, taking the knees together. You might take the hands behind the back and just dropping the knees side to side. Just releasing out through the groins and the hips here. And then shifting forward if you're not already. So the toes are at the end of the mat, reaching the fingertips forward and just slowly rolling down, connecting one vertebrae at a time onto the mat. And taking the knees into the chest, giving your legs a little hug, thanking your body for its strength and for everything it does. Giving yourself a little cuddle here. And we'll take the feet down onto the mat, shifting the hips an inch over to the left, dropping the knees over to the right, and extending the arms out long if you space, or if not, you can bend at the elbows so your fingertips are pointing back. So just getting a lovely twist all along the spine here, the outer glute of the left leg. Might even like to close down the eyes here. Inhale back to center. Inching the hips over to the right and the knees come to the left. You can gaze up at the ceiling or take the gaze the opposite direction of the knees just to continue that spinal twist through to the neck. But if there's any discomfort at all, it's perfect to be looking up at the ceiling as well. Just noticing that the body is settling down now. Maybe if your heart rate had increased a bit throughout the practice, or you're getting a bit hot throughout the practice, noticing now everything is starting to return back to its kind of natural rhythm, resting rhythm. Taking the knees back to center. If you want, you can give yourself one last hug. Thanking your body for its strength and its health. And then releasing down, extending the legs so you can come into Shavasana. And if you need a blanket or anything, you can place it over yourself. Letting the hands face up to the palm of the hands face up to the ceiling, letting the eyes close down. Feeling the connection, the pressure points of your body against the mat. Feeling the breath as it moves the body. And tapping in once again to that feeling of confidence that you tapped into at the start of the practice. Whether you felt it throughout the class or bringing yourself into an activity or experience that you felt confident in, and just trying to generate that feeling. Where does it reside in the body? Has it a colour? Is it solid? Is it liquid? Is it spacious? Just trying to tap into that feeling as you're lying here. The body feeling heavy and rested. The energy of the practice swirling around as you're building this feeling of confidence. And then just releasing, letting go of that effort, that intention, and just let the body be. Let the mind be. Gently bring the awareness back into the room, becoming aware of any sounds you can hear. Feeling again the pressure points between you and the mat or the ground. Feeling the movement of your breath in the body. Gently start to take some movement into the fingers or the toes, maybe swaying the hips, rolling the shoulders, and reaching the fingertips overhead so you can take a great full body stretch. Reaching from your fingers to toes as you inhale, and then exhaling, releasing. Rolling over to your right side into a fetal position, taking the hands underneath the head, making a little pillow. And then pushing yourself up to seated, trying to maintain the eyes closed, coming into whatever comfortable position works for you. So whether it's cross-legged, kneeling, legs out in front, with the eyes closed, turning the hands to face up to receive that confidence, receive that strength that is already within you and that you can generate and receive. Taking your hands to prayer at the heart, bending the head down to the heart, thanking your body, bending down to the body, bending down to Mother Earth. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you really enjoyed it. I loved it. And I hope that you could feel that sense of confidence as you were standing strong in your warrior poses. And the more you come back to this practice and try it again and try to generate that feeling as you're practicing, the more you will feel it. And it will spill off into the rest of your life in anything you're doing. You might notice that sense of confidence building up, or that you can generate it when you need it. So I hope you have a great day. I hope you enjoyed the practice, and I'll see you again next week. Bye.